2, 3, and a 1, 1, 1, and a 2, 2, 2, and a 3, 3, 3, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3. And these are all the numbers that I know. 1 is the first one, 2 is the second one, 3 is the third one. Then you go back to 2, and then maybe you can sing about 1 and count to 2, and then you count 2, 3, and it's fun. 1, 2, 3, I own 3 things of everything. A 1 and a 2 and a 3, 3, 3, and a 3, 3, 3, and a 1, 1, 1, and a 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, wubba 1, wubba 1, 1, wubba 1, wubba 1. And then there's 2 and 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. What a fun game to play when you count 2, 3 every single day. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, and a 2, 3, 3, hey! Just checking my levels here and checking my levels.
I just got an email letting me know that yes, the feds have found out about what I've been doing on the internet. You're listening to Bug and Moss in the morning.
Whoa! Good morning, Bug.
Good morning, Moss. Where are you at?
It doesn't look like I'm on the screen? Sure, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Huh, that's weird. That's super weird. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
All right.
Good morning. You're tuned in to the Bug and Moss Morning Telephone Show. It is Friday, Freak Forest Friday, July 17th, 2026 at 7:01 o'clock from the Skittering Studios under your favorite rock.
Technically, it's really just the Bug Show, I guess.
I guess it is just the Bug Show. I really don't know what's up because it says my camera's not turned off, but it's certainly not working.
I do see you reflected in the camera itself.
Yeah, I see me reflected in the camera itself as well. I think perhaps the camera interface that I have is just busted, but that's okay. We can roll on it for a minute.
Yeah, we have been doing, and by we, I mean you, a lot of crazy VR streaming.
Yeah, I don't think that was that, though. I think this Blackmagic, I have a camera switcher, and I think it sometimes gets a little tetchy.
A little tetchy?
A little tetchy, yeah. That song in the beginning was a file that Jordan sent me one day when we were working on a project. I don't remember exactly what project it was. And then he just kept on going with that. So, wow, my hair is crazy. He just kept on going with that song. And so I added some music to it. And that exists. And I found it. And so I wanted to put it back on.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful song. Was the project you were working on Sesame Street 2?
No, I think it was Alabaster's Haberdashery.
That makes sense.
There we go. I'm back. I'm here. I look like ass. I feel like a cooked fish.
You look like a Cuto. Look at that guy.
I feel like a cooked fish, Bug.
Well, if the fish is called a Cuto and you can order that, I'll have one filet of Cuto, please.
Can you imagine a fruit roll-up, but it's made of smushed fish?
I think that's a thing.
What?
Well, like dried fish.
But like in a fruit roll-up?
I think it's probably a thing.
Fish by the foot kind of vibe is what I'm thinking.
I bet it is. I'll find out.
SCQ Podcast says, I loved Henry Cavill in Netflix's The Camera Switcher.
Yeah, super good.
Good morning to Coyote Astronaut. Good morning to Lightbulb. Good morning to N Squared. Good morning to Emily. And good morning to Side Character Quest. And good morning to anyone else. Good morning to you, dear listener. And good morning to you listening late on the podcast. Good morning to Az. I see you're here as well. What do you got for the show today, bub?
I have one, claim, I guess.
Claim?
I have I have a hot take.
Like a Bug's big idea?
Yeah, I have a hot take, and that's all. And I don't know how much steam the hot take has. I think it's pretty unchallengeable.
Okay. So we have got a hot take coming up, and we got a whole bunch of voicemails.
Yeah, we got a lot of voice, which is great, because we both kind of just didn't do anything.
But it's Freak Forest Friday, so it's a perfect day to just hit that voicemail box.
Do you like how we're like, we don't have a schedule anymore until it's the day where we don't have to do anything, and then we're like, it's Freak Forest Friday, babes.
That's the beauty of a format, Bug, is that it's a lie to trick people into thinking you have your hands on, like a handle on things, and you don't.
You got your hand on that handle?
We don't. No, the format is an illusion that you use to trick people in the door, and then they stick around because you tricked them and they're having fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Let's do the hot take and then let's dive into some voicemails. I have a couple thoughts that I might share with the class if they can come back to me. Because as we were going to bed last night, I was like, I'll remember this and I'll remember this. There's two things. That's perfect. I'll cover those on the show. They're gone.
Does anybody want a piece of this Cadbury Royal Dark Chocolate Bar?
I don't know how you can eat such sweet things or such savory things early in the morning.
I had pizza already.
That's crazy. Do you experience this, friends, where in the morning I can only eat very neutral things? Like cereal is probably the sweetest thing I can handle, and a bagel is the savoriest thing I can handle in the first thing in the morning.
I think you're the weird one. I think that's weird.
Really? My mouth needs watching you eat that chocolate. I love you more than anything else. Makes me want to puke.
I think that's really kind of
What
ridiculous.
It seems so hard for me to watch you eat chocolate or like steak.
My ideal breakfast is either a steak with like asparagus, or it is chicken tikka masala, I think.
Okay, that's wild. Also, good morning to Hamilton, who said it's the Moss family. SCQ
true.
podcast said, I'll take a piece of pizza. Emily said, dude, I have a problem with eating anything first thing in the morning. I feel that, which is why, for me, it's got to be really neutral.
Up, I was going to talk about this. I wake up so hungry that I am like in a fugue state. What happened today is I knew we had pizza and I was like, thank God. So I woke up just enough to drag my husk out of bed and smash the slices into the air fryer. And then I was so sleepy, I couldn't wait the 2 minutes it takes to cook. So I fell back asleep as they were cooking. And then I woke up like 6 minutes later and ate them.
Interesting.
And I ate them. I eat as though I think I have like really massive blood sugar swings. This is my current theory.
I think you're just a dad. I think you're like a 50-year-old man in bug body because I don't know.
I'm eating it like aggressively though. I'm like, fuck, I have to get this pizza in my body.
You like get up in the morning, you sit up and you stand up and you go, it's Johnny Carson on TV. Where's the steak?
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I feel like that's sort of your vibe.
I hear Matt saying you got to eat those puppies cold. Cold pizza is the best. That is true. However, yesterday we got a hot and ready from Little Caesars. And in that case, I do not agree. I think Domino's is really good cold. I think Little Caesars is pretty not my favorite cold.
Cold pizza is a different beast.
Mm-hmm.
Cold pizza and hot pizza don't know each other. They're not related. They lost each other's numbers.
I don't think that Little Caesars goes both ways.
No?
No, I have come around on Little Caesars, as you'll see when we get to my big idea. I used to be a certified Little Caesars hater. Didn't grow up eating it, and then they replaced Domino's with Little Caesars at my high school, which sucked.
Well, wait, what? Wait, your high school had a Domino's in it first, and then
No. Sorry, for Pizza Day.
What?
You never had Pizza Day in your cafeteria?
Our school baked like crappy little pizzas that were terrible. And they were homemade, but they weren't very good.
Oh, we did a pizza day and they would just order a bunch of pizzas. I think it was sort of like also a bit like the cafeteria still made stuff, but kind of like a day off. Like there was a less of a load because everyone was going to get pizza.
Huh. Well, checking back in with chat, Kylie Ashton said, I'm waiting for my McHash browns and a side of sausage, which is my terrible Friday breakfast treat. I will say sometimes that McDonald's breakfast does really hit though.
I do not like McDonald's breakfast.
I know.
I do think their hash browns are very good.
Good morning to Sid the Kingmaker. Hamilton says, yeah, my school has homemade pizza. It's good and sometimes has a really crunchy crust.
Okay, so that hits.
That's great, yeah. Honestly, when school food is good, it really does hit.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one lunch lady at my school who was super, because I racked up like $300 in debt when I was in school, which I think should be illegal.
Yeah, it should be. It's crazy.
What do you mean we're putting kids in debt to eat lunch? But in this case though, this is a little bit my fault. So the flip side of that is there was one lunch lady who didn't care if you were in debt and would let you get like a little treat. And so every day I'll get a little orange ice cream cup. And I think so fondly of those. And I wish her name would come back to my brain right now, but
if you're listening, ma'am, we love you.
Yeah, you're a true G. Sid says you got to roast Little Caesars over a campfire for a true vibe.
Yeah, so that's something I also want to talk about eventually when we talk about Little Caesars is their logo. So hold that in your mind.
And SCQ Podcast is with me. Ty says, I experience that sometimes, Moss. Usually I'm fine, but sometimes strong flavors in the morning make me nauseous, especially if I wait too long to eat. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I will say the thing that's really tough is that I relate to being really put off by food, but again, really only in relation to my medicine, which I need to take, because I am blessed. Like hashtag bless up. With just an appetite. I love eating and I crave things that are like fine. Like I feel like one of those people who, this is not meant to be a brag. This is just like, I never had a super shitty relationship with food other than the regular one you kind of get by being raised as a girl. But like my mom wasn't weird about it. My parents weren't weird about it. I never had the food I had access to limited. So I have a pretty good relationship with like being able to tell what my body needs. Like I'll crave stuff that pretty much that's about what I should eat. And I'm aware that if I'm craving pizza, that's not what that means. Like that means I want the pizza flavor. But so I have a good relationship with food. So not being hungry is disgusting to me. Like it genuinely sucks so bad to not have an appetite. I don't know how you eat when you don't have an appetite. Food is so gross.
I really struggle with that because my body, with all the stomach issues I've been dealing with, my body has turned the sensation of hunger into like it alternates. If I'm hungry, I'm either actually feeling anxious or I'm feeling pain. And I have to like figure out that, oh no, that's hunger because my stomach is messed up.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. It's not a fun development. Colin, Community M partner, our pod boss, grill dad, and oligarch of nicknames, the man in the monocle in this Nick nominee, Colin says, good morning. I'm about to drive to get a McGriddle and coffee because I deserve it today. You're going to be my radio for my drive. Thank you. Colin, you do deserve it today.
Yeah. Also, I think a McGriddle, while McDonald's breakfast isn't my thing, I'm very respectful of the McGriddle. I think it's a very solid food item. It's something I would be proud to have designed.
Yeah.
Like, it's got such a good overall flavor profile.
You remember the video of the McDonald's CEO eating the burger, taking like the tiny little bite out of it? And like this, what he called it like a product too, and like not food.
This
or a burger.
product is craveable.
Yeah, exactly. And they took like that horrible, inhuman little bite out of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we live in a parody world. It's hard to do satire. N Squared says, I don't rock with McD's beyond the convenience, really, but the McGriddle needs to be an all-day breakfast item. Yeah. Here. Sid says McGriddle is one of the best creations on this goddamn earth.
Yeah.
Lightbulb has never had one. It's worth a try. I don't know if I'm as adamant as y'all about it. It's all right. It's good.
I will say, I think most McDonald's breakfast is disgusting, so I don't know why you would get anything else.
Az says that Colin deserves the McGriddle because he kicked her ass yesterday on Pokemon.
Hell yeah.
Oh, no. That's very fun. All right, Bug, let's dive right in. You said you had a hot take, a big idea, and I think it's time for us to find out what that is.
Here's Bug's air quote big idea of the day.
All right, kids, listen. First of all, I'm wearing one of my heirloom t-shirts. This was my grandpa's. This is not a bit. This was my grandpa's shirt.
You'll notice it's not the Three Wolf Moon shirt, but it obviously inspired the Three Wolf Moon shirt because it's got three wolves on it.
I do think this came first. It is a New Mexico shirt.
Yeah.
We call this Bellacore. I'm Twilight Maxing.
Forks Maxing.
I'm Forks Maxing. It's a shame I'm going to work and wearing this because I should be wearing it later. I am recording Breaking Dawn Part 1 with Bridget. Finally. That's not what my big idea is about. If you guys don't know, Bridget and I have a book podcast where we talk about books. We've been covering Twilight, and it's been a journey. We're about to finish it, finally. We're about to finish Part 1 of the end. But today I want to talk about something. I have had this thought before, and I'm right within the world that we live in. So you can think
what
whatever
a hell
you
of a way
think.
to open. I like how you're like, it's as though I've walked up on you constructing your argument and you're hastily nailing plywood with big nails. And you're like, I had this idea, and I'm right.
It's like me doing the 95 theses, but the top 5 are the only ones that are anything. And then I was just like, they're not going to read past that. All right. Little Caesars hot and ready pizza should be subsidized by the U.S. government.
Hot and ready pizza should be subsidized. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to go further than that. I think that we should be provided for the basic income and necessities.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that right now. I want to kind of keep it Little Caesar centric. I am talking about how Little Caesars pizza should not cost more than $5. It is becoming a bad value. So, like I said, I used to be a Little Caesars hater. Then I grew up. I learned better. These pizzas are good when they're hot. It's a good price. I understand. Solid choice. Now they are like $7.28. The average person cannot pay $7.28 for a Little Caesars pizza. That is too much money.
Yeah, it is. Sorry.
You're typing fervently.
I am sharing, and N Squared asked where to find Edging, your book podcast that you do with Bridget. It's called edging. It's in the show notes and description as well if you're curious. It's very good.
I think also you can do imaginary.click/edging.
Okay.
That's our short link.
So back to your but that's not important. I got that covered for you.
Yeah.
So Caesar's Hot and Ready Pizza should be a mandate.
Little
SCQ
Caesars.
says
I don't know about Caesars.
Well, whatever. Okay, Little Caesars.
It's important.
Colin says Little Caesars having the Detroit pizza as over $5 I'm okay with, but the regular pizza should be $5.
Agreed.
Hot, ready.
This is not me saying that every pizza you get at Little Caesars should be $5. I'm fully aware that they have a robust menu that I've never explored and probably never will. What I am saying is that a cheese or pepperoni pizza, I think they should probably, when it's government subsidized, add an option that has one topping that is veggie.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Y'all know about government cheese?
Yeah, I know about government cheese.
People loved government cheese. We bring back government cheese. That could be on the pizza.
If you guys don't know, government cheese is also really fascinating, and it gets into like the dairy lobby, which is a whole thing. But the U.S. government had to basically subsidize dairy farming, which we still do. This is why milk is cheap. Milk is not cheap to produce. Milk should be like $10 a gallon.
If not more. Milk should be far more expensive.
So when you see local milk and it is under $20 a gallon, it is a deal and you should enjoy it. Milk is expensive. And so the government, in order to deal with supply and demand, until Americans were completely convinced that they should be eating dairy all the time. I love dairy. It also doesn't bother my tummy. So it's fine for me. But if it does bother your tummy, you might really relate to this. I'm not going to get in to how the dairy lobby and putting milk back in schools is racist. There's a great Sawbones about it. So you should go listen to that. But the dairy thing is really interesting with government cheese because what happened was this in the Eisenhower era?
I don't know that much. I just know people who are like, the government cheese was good, man.
There was a massive stockpile, I think specifically of just mild cheddar, government stockpile of cheese that was gonna go bad. And so a program was instituted to kind of as part of SNAP benefits, have government cheese given to people who needed it.
So we should have government C's.
Government C's.
Government Little Caesars.
Yeah.
So there's, Colin said in chat, Little Caesar, no, sorry, that's what we already said. And Squared said Little Caesars pizzas are designed to be eaten immediately afterwards, high as shit with friends, all holding your own box in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
They should deal them out like a deck of cards. It should come in the mail monthly.
Yeah, I just think that there are certain things that are reasonable and certain things that are unreasonable. Mm-hmm. And I fully believe, I don't think that the price Little Caesars has raised the pizza to is unreasonable. I think the cost of food is going up everywhere. However, I don't think the value is there for me to pay it. And I think that in order to offset that and help feed the American people, the U.S. government should subsidize Little Caesars Hot and Ready Pizza.
Like Matt said, UPI, Matt said universal pizza invoicing. I think invoicing implies you might get billed for it, and that would confuse people. So maybe it should be
Index.
UPD, Universal Pizza Distribution.
Yeah, okay, UPD.
We need a snappy slogan. We need something we need to run on this, Bug. We need to start in local office. This is how we're going to make real change. We'll start running for local office and we'll work our way up to bigger and bigger offices until we can institute pizza mandates at every level.
Okay.
We start with our town, and then we move up to our county. And then next thing you know, we're governor. 2 people, 1 governor.
Yeah.
Yep. That's true. They changed the rules just for us.
Well, and then I also see in the chat here where Sid said, and I was curious, Sid, if you would have an opinion, because I know that Little Caesars is headquartered in Michigan.
Everything's fucking headquartered in Michigan, isn't it?
Well, everything really used to be, and then it all left, and that was a problem.
Yeah, that's true. But Michigan really do be having the companies.
Yeah, so historically. So Sid said the Ilyich family who owns Little Caesars also really sucks. They own a handful of our sports teams here in Michigan and promised so many renovations for the city of Detroit that didn't happen. I have feelings on Little Caesars. I agree. And so here we go. I think that they should lose the rights to their company. Now it's government pizza.
Sorry. That's eminent domain.
We own it now. It's the people's pizza.
Half pepperoni, half eminent domain.
Yeah.
Colin is not leaving for breakfast. Colin has said Domino's pan pizza is one of the best out there, but their regular pizza suffers a bit below Little Caesars. And Colin says, I have many opinions on pizza. I am in my driveway. I am not going for my breakfast until pizza talk
Colin,
ends.
I completely disagree with you because I think...
Hamilton said, what is your favorite pizza company? So go ahead. What's your favorite, and can you defend it then?
I don't. So to be clear, Domino's is not my favorite pizza company. It is my favorite cheap, easy to get pizza that's like pretty much everywhere. And here's why I'm like not willing to play this game with Little Caesars regular pizza being better than Domino's. First of all, Domino's is the only really accessible pizza that I think has the right amount of sauce. Everywhere else is skimping on the sauce and it's gross. Also, I will eat Domino's cold. I think Little Caesars is disgusting
Domino's
cold.
sauce is nothing, though.
It's like fine.
Blah, blah, blah,
Little
blah.
Caesars sauce is nothing.
Yeah, but Little Caesars is $5.
Okay, no, it's not. It's $7.28.
That's just
carry
tax.
out.
It's
no,
tax. It's
but
like-
listen, carry out. So at that point, I can get a 7-something carry out from Domino's.
There's no 7-something.
Yes, there is. There is like a $7.99 carry out deal that is always happening.
Oh, that's probably only to compete with Little Caesars.
That's fine, but what I'm saying is, at that point, it has, like, it's not worth it. First of all, our Domino's and Little Caesars are like right next to each other.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like lots of sort of Romeo and Juliet style romance stories happening over there.
And the thing is, at Domino's, I can get, and I see this in the chat, Coyote Astronaut is like, they have like 3 different sauces at Domino's. Yeah, and 2 of them are good. One of them is the tomato sauce and one of them is the garlic sauce, which you like, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't.
We have to get it every time for you.
Domino's my least favorite pizza. It's just the only one that like delivers, and it's the only one that's affordable.
Okay, anyway, this is not me saying I think Domino's is great pizza. I think when it comes to getting a cheap, accessible pizza, Domino's always hits for me. But the real thing is that I don't like eating Little Caesars crust. I think it tastes gross. And I pretty much eat my Domino's crust all the way because it's got that garlicky goodness.
I like Ramonto's brick oven pizza.
That's not comparable to what we're talking about because nobody fucking knows what that is.
It was the pizza chain of my growing up. It was in New England. It was in New Hampshire and Vermont.
That's beautiful, but we're talking about international pizza chains.
I don't know if Domino's, is Little Caesars international? Yes. Pizza.
Yeah, they actually can't use pizza in Canada because there's a chain called Pizza.
Oh, okay. So if we're not talking like pizza that's actually good.
No, I specifically am trying to tell you that Domino's is not my favorite pizza.
Chat has been going so fast that I've been trying to like catch up and like have notes ready.
This is my villain arc. I'm about to have a heel turn because my husband thinks Domino's is my favorite pizza.
I'm so sorry.
Domino's is the most reliable, everywhere accessible pizza to me.
Hamilton says, I feel like we are all autism.
Yeah, I feel like we all have a lot of feelings right now.
Yeah, okay. So what are the chains then? There's Domino's, there's Little Caesars.
You could have a Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut, Papa John's.
Yeah.
What else is in the running?
I mean, those all for sure.
Name one other one.
I don't know if there's other ones.
I need one other one.
Okay, well, somebody else name another one. Those sound like the big 4 to me.
I've never had Papa John's. So I got to rule that out.
Never had Papa John's?
There's no Papa John's in the Northeast.
It's not good. I just am surprised.
I went to Pizza Hut once when I was 5, and then they closed forever. So I've never been to Pizza Hut. So I only have Domino's and Little Caesars to compare against. And so I think that's why I'm not in this running as much, because both of those are not that good. They're fine, but they're not that good.
To be clear, it's all fine. Okay, so I guess, actually, according to the Google AI overview, it's Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Little Caesars, and then Marco's Pizza, which I've never heard of. So I think we cut it off at 4.
I think, well, there's also like Sbarro's, and that people love that in Rhode Island. I don't know why.
Yeah, but we don't count things that people love in Rhode Island.
Daddy in my computer loves Pat's Pizza. Daddy just chimed in. Hang on, I'm going to scroll all the way back down. You want Pat's Pizza? I haven't had a decent slice since, well, let's just say technology has gotten far beyond my grasp. All right, Daddy, that's fun. It seems like some confusion in the chat about Marco's. Emily says Sbarro's is not pizza. 60 Watts Lightwell says, Daddy's with me, Pat's Pizza. Colin says, what the fuck is Marco's? Sid says, Marco's is decent compared to the rest of the... And then I think Sid got shot by a sniper, R.I.P. Hamilton says, Marco's is in Texas. It's next to my local Kroger.
Oh. So
I bet you, it's probably just like Western and more Southern than where we are.
Well, Pat's Pizza, whatever Daddy likes, is maybe... I'm trying to figure out if it's a Maryland thing?
I don't know. That's crab pizza. It's little tiny personal pan pizzas, and they got 8 legs and 2 big claws. Just put a pizza on the back of a crab. Ba-ba-da-boop.
Oh, there's pizza pats. Okay, there's Daddy could be talking about a lot of different
There's
things.
a lot of different pizzas. I don't know how we got here, but I do want to go back to our basic premise.
Okay.
And say that pizza should be government subsidized, just like the dairy industry, and you should be able to get pizza for free.
Also, if you listen to that Sawbones episode, you'll get into the entire thing where, like, the pizza industry is in, like, the dairy cabal. It's all actually a conspiracy, and it's crazy. Like, the way that it is all connected in getting Americans to, like, eat more cheese is insane.
Yeah. It's wild. You should listen to that Sawbones episode. This is funny. Hamilton in chat said, what operating system is Daddy running on? And Daddy responded saying, I don't know. I used to be Windows 10 back when things were different. Windows 10.
Yeah,
Daddy's
he's on Windows 10.
He's running on Windows 10.
Is this Windows 10?
Is this Windows 10?
There's this great video of Mason after he pulled an all-nighter on Digital Folklore.
Oh, God.
You are so cooked in that video.
I was so out of it. Is this Windows 10?
Yeah. It was.
I like to say that, though, when things happen. That
I
are, like,
assume
striking.
that how you felt then is how Daddy feels all the time.
Yeah, it's completely delirious.
Yeah.
I can't even keep my eyes open right now. I think something's wrong with my eyes, Bug. They keep getting all watery and puffy.
I mean, I think that you're...
Maybe I need to sleep more.
Well, I think that's true. I also think you've been wearing eye makeup for our streams, and it's irritating your eyes in a way that you're not used to. And there is a lot, your eyes might be more sensitive to the different pigments and particles, but also I have found that having an experience with wearing and removing makeup, I think makes me do a lot of things that irritate my eyes less.
Yeah.
You know, like the way you put it on, the way you take it off. You get gentler with your skin the more you get used to, like, how abrasive it can be.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, maybe. Probably. Sid said something in chat.
Okay.
Sid the Kingmaker says, at our baseball stadium, there's a spot in the outfield that has Little Caesar holding a baseball mitt with a hole in it. If any player hits a home run in the hole, everyone in the stadium gets a free hot and ready.
That's amazing.
That should be everywhere.
Yeah.
There should be those should be hidden like Easter eggs in a video game, where if you find one in real life and you can throw something through it, you like get a text. It's like your pizza's
And it's
ready, King.
honestly, it sucks what I've just seen in the chat, which is that it has never happened. Then change it. Because it's nothing if it never happens. Even the lottery, somebody has to win. Like, it's nothing if it never happens.
Yeah, it's got to happen.
We need to see it.
Give me that government pizza.
Yeah.
Give me that government cheese. Give me that government hot and ready. $5 free.
Can you imagine the Bowling for Soup guy ripping that? That'd be so good.
The Bowling for Soup guy who is the voice of Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, Charles Entertainment
It would
Cheese.
have to be him. There's no other vocalist that has that.
Yeah.
All right, Colin, I think it's time for you to drive and get yourself some breakfast, because we're going to pivot out of the pizza talk here, and we're going to move along and take a look at our community partners, because we've reached the bottom of the hour.
No way.
Somehow, yeah, Bug, I know. Somehow we always burn through the first half of this show so fast on some inane bullshit, and then, oh, wow, look at that. It's community partner time.
Yeah, Hamilton's not wrong. There's a little bit of autism. There's also just a lot of ADHD in the
Yeah, there's a
room.
lot of
Is ADHD in the room with us?
Yeah, I don't know her. She lost my number. So our show is made possible by people supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/Bug and Moss. Shout out again to Maggie for just joining on as a critter. Thank you, Maggie. That means the world. And shout out to Crocodile Tommy for joining the Patreon as well. And big shout out to our community partners. If you support us at $24.99 a month, you get community partner status. One of our community partners is Colin M. Parker, a Twitch variety streamer streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, doing No Bones Cruise on Mondays, which is friend slop hangout time. We'll play like Mecha Chameleon or some crazy bullshit. That's a lot of fun. Colin's been working on a Final Fantasy Reset series on Wednesday at 6 p.m., where Colin is a wild choice. He's playing through all of the Final Fantasy games from beginning to end. And if you donate enough subs or bits, Colin has to reset either like back to checkpoints or at certain times back to the starts of games. So if you want to inflict psychic damage on Colin, be sure to tune in on Wednesdays. And then games at 6 p.m. and music shows at 8 p.m. on Fridays, with music shows including That All New Punk, where they blind tier list new punk tunes for the first time. Awesome way to find out some new music and just hang out and have a good time. And Colin also does WBRP, where Twitch subscribers get to submit one song per month for chat to listen and discuss, all at twitch.tv/Colin M. Parker. But also, you should check out Colin's podcast, Timeline Scavengers, where they put the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in historical order, scene by scene. This is one of the more ambitious projects I think I've ever heard of. They are literally going like day by day, scene by scene, shot by shot through every film in the MCU and putting them in sequential order, like timeline-wise. It's called Timeline Scavengers. So the copy here says the show starts at the dawn of time in Thor 2, then goes to eons ago in What If, then to 15,000 BCE in Black Panther, and so on and so on. This is a podcast specifically designed to last forever as they just keep making more and more scenes and days for them to talk about. Found on all podcatchers under Timeline Scavengers. Colin says, yeah, we're in 1995 right now. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Shout out Colin M. Parker. Oh, that's wrong. Daddy's going to say something. This is how you do a shout out. Colin M. Parker. Boom. We should, I want to try and remember to do that. I always forget how to do that. There's all these cool Twitch commands you can do. But anyway, thank you, Colin, for supporting the show. And thank you to our other community partners for making this possible. Check out patreon.com/Bug and Moss. Matt Bliss says, that is seriously ambitious. How do you deal with the multiverse, Colin? And Colin says different artwork to show different branching timelines. It's Colin and Jamie, and they fucking they've got it on lock. It's ridiculous. It's frankly absurd.
That's amazing.
Completely insane. Hamilton says, I want to watch y'all do some bullshit in Mecha Chameleon. Yeah, tune in on Mondays. We did it last week. I don't know. We may do it again. I had a blast. I think the tricky thing was we had to get a bunch of people together, but we should see if we can get the same crew together and do that again.
Yeah, it was funny sitting next to you because you just kept going, oh!
I didn't know I can't draw, and then I was not. And then
I can draw.
Yeah, but not in the game. It took a while. I want a redemption arc, so I do want to play that again.
Yeah.
So if we can do that. For one last thing on Timeline Scavengers, Colin says we have an Excel document that has like 20,000 plus cells.
I bet it does.
I believe it. All right. Hey, Bug, it's time to turn to the phones. 848-MOSS-BUG. 848-667-7284 is the number to call. 848-MOSS-BUG. Leave us a message. Tell us something cool. Ask us a question. I am zooming down, and I am finding this. I'm finding the oldest unread voicemail that we have so that we don't miss anything. And this is the current one that I'm seeing, and it is from Ty. This is a voicemail from July 7th.
Hey, Bug and Moss. This is Ty. You guys are talking about summertime vibes and dyeing your hair and all that stuff, and it just reminded me of a summertime thing from my childhood. I went to visit a friend of my dad's once. We all were going hanging out, and that family, they had a pool. And so I was like, let's go swimming in this pool. But I didn't have a swimsuit. So the guy, my dad's friend, lent me a pair of khaki shorts so I could go swimming and not have to soak the clothes that I was wearing.
Khakis.
And I got in the pool, and when I got out, like an hour later, these khaki shorts had turned very violently pink.
Wait, what?
Just some weird interaction between chlorine in the pool and whatever dye was coloring those pants khaki completely transformed these shorts to the point that the guy thought we were pranking him. He thought that we had gone out and bought some identical shorts in a different color and had swapped it out because it was just impossibly pink.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
Fun. All right, bye.
I wonder, so khakis are like brown, right?
I have the answer.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You're not the only person this has happened to.
Can you imagine getting out of the pool and just looking down and be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's so funny. I was really not expecting that.
Yeah, Colin said chlorine in the chat, and chlorine is really weird. It does a lot of different interactions with stuff. Apparently, chlorine can break down the khaki dye, which can expose the hidden red and yellow pigments, which makes sense. Khaki is like a light brown.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening.
I think I'm thinking back to as a kid, if I ever had, because I had a lot of khaki pants and khaki shorts. Sorry for that horrible burp. And I'm thinking about getting bleach on them. And I think I have seen, like, you've seen spots on stuff like that. That's pink, right? So I could imagine. But I also, you don't think of the chlorine in a pool as being quite such concentrate at quite such a concentration.
I mean,
as to
you
be able
do
to
if you're
that.
ever blonde because it turns your hair green.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it does.
Huh. I guess I never experienced or saw that, but I also didn't swim in that pools that much. We swam more in like lakes and
Yeah, y'all got swimming holes.
Yeah,
I
swimming in
don't know
creeks.
why you would really experience it because you have dark hair.
yeah, but I have friends who are blonde,
I guess that's true.
you know? So wow, Ty, that's an amazing and very funny story. Pink shorts, I love it.
That story is from top to bottom. I can picture shooting it for a TV show.
Yeah.
Like you just imagine there is,
Or a commercial.
to me, nothing more stressful. The coolest thing about being an adult is feeling confident enough to wear a swimsuit in the wild because as a kid, I never felt okay in a swimsuit. And my worst nightmare was being in a situation where someone had to lend me a swimsuit, like an adult specifically, that you just like wouldn't feel cute in, wouldn't fit you right. And so giving you a pair of khaki shorts is so funny. That's insane.
I would just swim in whatever as a kid. Pants, big shorts.
Yeah.
Whatever was around. But it's very different to be just like a little boy. It's a totally different thing. Why don't we move on to a new voicemail? We've got this from July 8th from George Diaz. Who knows what this is going to be about?
Hey, Doug and Moss. Calling about the music from media thing.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about music from artists that are like music from media bands. Music from video games, movies, or like other things that are not bands, and like who your favorite sort of media music comes from.
Gerhard Creed is like a semi-niche jazz composer who did a lot of background music for classic Hollywood. It's been used like just all over the place. A bunch of his stuff is reused pretty much over and over again. And they're all bangers. Highly recommend the song Jazz Blues. A lot of this
Jazz blues?
featured on and freaking Fall in the Days. It's kind of on the mind because, hey, we're getting a new one. Mini gamer alert.
Oh, yeah. We are.
Another one that's absolutely great because of their insane range is Woody Jackson, Rockstar's main conductor.
Rockstar
director.
games. You know, Rockstar games do always have good
Everything
music.
from the dark, depressing Soviet era music from GTA 4 to the sun-soaked nostalgia of GTA 5 and what they're trying to do with that. A lot of like classic 80s movies and stuff in that. To both Red Dead 1, which is a homage to classic spaghetti westerns, to Red Dead 2, which is more of a neo-western, modern sort of, what's that guy's name? Martin Scorsese, I think.
I don't know
those
westerns.
kinds of modern westerns.
But I do know
Very
those
much
games.
True Grit. Yes.
They all have really good
Very-
music.
Amazing.
True.
All right, probably some more, but I can't think of any. I'll probably send an email just so I don't have to pause every time.
Thank you for calling in, George. Yeah, the Rockstar games, they do have good music, but I as Lightbulb has pointed out, are we talking soundtrack or featured songs? I always think of Rockstar games for their like featured and assembled songs. I feel like they've got, whoever's putting the playlist together for like the radios in GTA historically, those have all been extremely like thoroughly very filled with good music. I remember as a kid, at least, I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5. I've kind of fallen out of interest with that. Although I'm liking Watch Dogs a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't played a Grand Theft Auto game in a while. But as a kid, I remember Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto 4. I played the heck out of those, and there are some real bangers in those soundtracks. But those are like playlists. And there's great music in Red Dead Redemption. So that must be from Woody Jackson. But yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, I'm looking at him, and he has a pretty impressive repertoire of games and films that he's worked on. He's a session musician, so very accomplished. But I think also, like in the level of these games, maybe working also kind of in a scoring composition capacity outside of just being a featured musician. It seems like he was maybe more like the project leader along with some other featured musicians.
Hell yeah. I wish, when I was younger, I really wanted to grow up and be a session musician. I thought that would be rad. And then as I got older, I realized I don't know if I would be able to do it. That sounds so difficult.
It honestly sounds exactly like the experience I had where I thought I wanted to grow up to be a chef. And then I was like, no, I fucking don't. No, I don't want to that's not the passion for me. And it is totally like admirable. You see people who are so fucking good at it and that like constant innovation and that grind and being so consistent. And that feels really similar to being a session musician where you need to be like, I think constantly knowing what's going on in music, but also you have to be so proficient. And I think that there might be a little bit more flexibility in hours, but like regardless.
You got to be able to rip and go and just like always be there and always fill in.
That kind of pace, I just like, that's actually not for me. And I think it'll ruin cooking for me.
Good morning to Joe Hinkle, who has just jumped in the chat on YouTube. Good to see you, Joe. Lightbulb here has said, video game soundtrack is one of my staples to listen to. Dude, wait, the Portal's credits songs.
Oh, yeah.
I only know the one Portal credit song. This was a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge mistake. What is that called? Still Alive. Mm-hmm. If there are others, we haven't yet beaten Portal 2, so I don't know about them.
We'll get there.
But nobody confirm or deny this, but if there are more Portal songs, my life is about to improve. Because the more Portal songs I know about, the happier I think I will be.
Yeah.
Because when I first heard that first Portal credit song, when Still Alive comes on at the end, I was sobbing like a baby. I remember being in middle school and we had just beat it. It was me, my friend Timmy, and my friend EJ, and I think Andrew was there too. And we were just sitting there and like listening, and I was like tears pouring out of my face. It was great. I know every single lyric to it still to this day. Sing it along every morning when I wake up and every night before I go to sleep.
Yeah, it's true. Pledge of Allegiance for him.
Matt Bliss says, any Simple and Clean fans from Kingdom Hearts? That song does bop. It rips. I mean, that comes on and I feel like you just have to get down. Colin says Kingdom Hearts music fucking slaps. It had Kingdom Hearts also had a lot of good incidental music, if I remember correctly. As says, the Lego Portal game has a really funny song where Gladys talks about Batman. There's a Lego Portal game.
There's a Lego everything.
There's a Lego every game. That's for sure. But that's super fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Cool.
a good question.
All right.
That was a good response to a question.
Yeah, Lego Portal game. We'll have to check that out. I have not heard of that. There's also there's Lego every game. There's like Lego Minecraft, which is in Fortnite.
Of course, Lego Harry Potter.
Well, hold on. There's Lego Minecraft is in Fortnite. Don't get that mixed up.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
I think Lego Harry Potter is its own thing.
Yeah.
There's Lego Star Wars. Yeah.
They should make Lego Grand Theft Auto.
I think there may be something like that. I feel like I remember seeing something like that. I've played one of the Lego games once, and it was actually like high-key
I've heard a
good.
lot of them are very good.
Yeah. The game I remember the most from the Legos, though, was Lego Island, which was this tiny little demo CD game type thing from the 90s where you would walk around this 3D Lego island. But it was an extremely early first-person three-dimensional
We watched
adventure.
a whole video on that.
Well, somebody recently decompiled and reverse engineered it and then kind of blew up on the internet while doing this and actually got to talk to the developers.
It's an amazing
of
story.
Lego Island and proceed with fixing bugs and getting a port working again. It's genuinely amazing. I'm going to put a link to that in our show notes. So after the show, go check the podcast episode or check the show notes. Wait till like 9 a.m. If you think of it later, you're like, oh yeah, you should check the show notes and go watch this video. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I don't forget that. Boom. Okay. Colin in chat says, I love Lego Island. Colin said that may be the game that made me a gamer. It is 100%. It was life-changing for me. It was so interactive. It was crazy. You build a helicopter. You make pizzas. You drive around.
It all comes back to pizza.
Yeah. It's hard to explain without. I'm not ready to talk too much about it, but it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. One more voicemail?
More voicemail, please.
Okay. This is from an unknown number and an unknown transcription.
Oh.
I don't know what we're in for. This might be a lamp. I think this might be a lamp.
Let's see.
I think Hamilton just gave us our episode title, by the way. All roads lead to pizza.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, a lamp back here. And
A lamp.
Good guess.
yeah, let's talk about how people imagine things.
Ooh.
I left the last voicemail just a little on a dead end, but here, let's open it up to discussion. I am going to just run down a few axes that might help people pin, okay, how does
how can I make stuff up? Let's think about.
Yeah, I'll pause real quick to give some context. So we were discussing the previous week about how imaginations work, and we were talking about aphantasia and like beyond just being not able to imagine things or able to imagine things more granularly, like the strength of imagining different senses and how that can vary between people. A lamp has explained that they have aphantasia, which is the inability to imagine things, and this voicemail is following up on that.
You're reading a fiction book, there's a description of a city or whatever else. You have the words of, it looks like this, it's rather vague. How do you work from that in your brain? The first axis is just like, what is the fidelity? What is the immersion of your, like, for lack of a better word, view of the thing? It's really hard to use the words around all of this. Mm-hmm. But
yeah.
When you are reading a book, is it like you are just standing in the space, like it is as real life? Or, and I'm just going to take steps down, is it like VR? Or like a screen in front of you playing a video game or watching like a movie or whatever? And I think that is different levels of immersion. Mm-hmm. Would you have more like a graphic novel or like write sheets and reference images, or are you at a picture book level where like it's still mostly the actions, the verbs are like a thought, not an image, but like you have flashes, or is it mostly just you've got, this is what the, like, it is what you're imagining from reading the words on the page is the words on the page. And yeah, another axis is like how hard you're working to get there. Does it just do it as you read? Do you have to imagine, okay, so what would it be like to be in this city? Does one have to do you have to put it together in your mind, or does it just appear in your mind? And yeah, how easily can you bring a thing from words in?
Well,
hit the limit there. So talking and discussing imagination is a really difficult thing to do because like we don't have super common vernacular for it because all of it is referential to like our actual experience, and it exists in this like non-existent mental plane, right?
Yeah.
So it's difficult to talk about and describe. I would say that for me, the experience of reading a book is very close to watching a movie.
Yeah.
And to the extent that most of the time when I finish reading a book, I don't really remember anything except what I remember when I've seen a movie, which is to say like visual scenes, moments, and like flashes of plot and things happening.
Yes.
Like every book I've read, I pretty much remember as a movie like that.
Yeah, I visualize things in memory. I can recall things that I don't have visuals for when talking about it, but they won't come to mind on their own. So that recall, that retrieval in my memory will involve like having a conversation with another person and like having my memory jogged. And then my brain will probably generate that image like as a frame, but not as a still frame. I thought that what you asked, Lamp, was such a cool way of putting it, this axis of like, do you see it like VR? Do you see it like you are in a movie? There was something else there. For me, when I picture things in my head, it is almost always cinematic. And I do not experience it from a first person point of view. Like I exist in my own memories. I don't see them from my perspective. Barring a few examples of early childhood. So like, as I said that, I realized like I have some very early memories that are in first person. But I think as I got older, I started crafting a world in which I could see myself in it as well.
Interesting.
And so, like, that's a little bit different than imagination because we're talking about memory, but they're connected, right? Like, as we get older and we develop processes, we sort of direct our memories in some ways.
Well, I feel like my memories of books are similar, or I think they're similar. I can't really be sure, but they feel similar to the imagery that I was imagining, seeing while reading the book. I had very clear. What's also interesting is how they can be overridden. I'd have to use this as a touchstone just because it's the most accessible one to me. But when I was younger and I read Harry Potter, which I would not recommend doing now.
Yeah.
I had a very clear mental image of what all those characters and places looked like. And then that was completely overwritten by the movies. The movies did a really good job of capturing it to the extent that to my brain, I was like, oh, I'll correct to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had that happen to you also. Matt says, with you on that, Moss, I have a visual memory as well and read in visuals for memory. 60 Watts Lightbulb says, I read in visuals a lot of the time, but sometimes they're wrong, and then I'm stuck with the wrong idea of the visuals. That's so funny.
It's interesting.
Do you, when you read, do you hear the words out loud in your head?
No.
Me neither. I don't really read word. I read chunk.
I also don't have an inner monologue. This is something that I feel like absolutely shook by. My friend Paige. My friend Paige is awesome. We have this relationship where we met once at this playwriting residency. We were roommates, and then that was like 10 years ago, and we've seen each other like twice in person since then. So we just like will call each other until one of us picks up the phone, and then we'll update each other on everything happening in our life, and it will always be crazy. Mm-hmm. It will always be like years of information. Love this bitch. It'll be like, I have ADHD, and then like a year later, Paige will be like, I have ADHD. But we were talking about this, and I was like, I feel like it's crazy when people say they have an inner monologue. I don't get it at all. And Paige was like, I 100% have an inner monologue. I am always talking in my head.
I don't have that.
I do not have that at all.
I super don't. It's not like I'm not thinking, but I feel much more like if anything, a word cloud or like a vapor. And I don't know. I feel like my thoughts coalesce like they're just like connecting several points, but I don't have any kind of constant rolling narrative. It's a very flitting thing. I wonder if there's any ADHD correlation, but I actually don't think so.
I don't think so because, I mean, like I said, Paige has ADHD too. I know people who have a lot of experiences across that. I think Hamilton does have an inner monologue.
Hamilton says that they do hear the words when they read.
Oh, okay.
Which is also so these are two separate questions. One, do you hear words when you read something? Do you hear the words read into your head? And then do you have an inner monologue?
Yeah.
I don't have either of those. I can read something and like hear it in my head, and I do that when I'm struggling to understand. Like if I read average time to render frame, and then I'm like, I'm not following that, I'll in my head imagine average time to render frame and see if that helps.
And I will say, I think for me it's most useful to just read it out loud because I find I have a much different comprehension of it because my reading comprehension is context clues are my everything. Like I am constantly intaking information based on like anchor points. And sometimes I have to, like, I feel like I have the most real understanding of like scripts I perform because I say them out loud. So when I'm reading something for someone, I almost always read it out loud. It really helps me understand what they're writing and what that's saying. Also, there was something here that I was going to say. Coyote Astronaut said, sometimes I make it an outer monologue and I can't fathom how that is to live with. I only have an outer monologue. I process almost everything externally.
You don't monologue, but you're always humming a little tune, and it's literally the cutest thing ever. Bug is always just like,
That's true.
Like constantly, always humming, and it's the cutest thing on the planet. I literally love it so much because I'll just be like sitting and doing stuff, and then I'll just hear her like walk by, like hoo doo doo doo, and I'm like, there she goes.
There's a real spatial audio experience.
Yeah, it's literally my favorite thing in the whole world. N Squared said, I have a vivid memory of returning a Harry Potter book to my school librarian in like third grade and telling her I saw the book as a black and white movie.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
Awesome.
I feel like there is a point to this too, which is that the real unlocked and interesting aspect of this conversation to me is how these things change as our brains develop. Like imagining the way that you did imagine things as a kid versus how you have like fully realized your imagination now and your experience with imagining. Something that I once had a discussion with a friend of mine who's a therapist is that I was like, I don't have a lot of very early childhood memories. I have a couple, but my memory overall is pretty bad. I feel like every 5 years, my brain just dumps out everything that's happened to me. And it's gotten better at sort of compressing things as I've gotten older because my brain is like stronger. But I don't remember most of school. I don't remember most of high school. I don't remember middle school, elementary school. It's all kind of blurry and like condensed down into like little chunks where I was clearly like, that's not fucking important. She said to me that memory in children is so directly linked to language. And that when people start remembering things is often when they start really understanding and contextualizing things with language, which makes a lot of sense. Especially if that's how you are going to go on to talk about and remember things.
Well, yeah. I mean, like think of like the drawer that you have that full of stuff, like a junk drawer in your house, and that's not labeled. Nothing's labeled in there, but you might remember that like a screwdriver's in a certain place or whatever. But then imagine if you stored everything else in your house in labeled folders. Eventually, those would be a lot easier to find. Like language does give you the ability to label.
Yeah, and that allows you to categorize, which allows you, I think, to have, I sort of think of it as like compression algorithms in your brain. If you can categorize things and situations and experiences, and if you can group them, you can more effectively store them and retrieve them.
There's a question that has come up that I want to address too, and I want to ask the class as well. For those of you who do, when you read something, hear it in your head. Are you slower readers than your peers, or can you still read very fast? Because I have found that when I read and I require myself to hear the words out loud in my imagination, I read really slowly. When I don't do that, which is my default, is not doing that, I read wicked fast. Like I can devour things so fast. Oh, and it seems right out the gate. So this is super interesting to me. Hamilton says, I still read fast. Sid says, no, I actually read fast, but I still hear it all. Interesting. I wonder if it's like, I wonder maybe that's like a practice thing.
Yeah.
Because Lightbulb says, I slow down a lot when I do that because it's not what I do usually. And that's true for me also. I imagined that the time it would take you to hear those would slow you down. I
think the difference might be, and I'm curious to hear
compressed time up there.
Well, and to hear for those of you who do read out loud in your head, I think the difference is that when I read out loud in my head, it is kind of the same as reading out loud in real life. I'm like sounding it out in my head, and part of it is that I am trying to slow down and read it like real life. But I imagine when you're reading in your head, that's not what you're doing. You have a whole different experience.
Yes, Daddy has just warned us that the show is ending, so unfortunately we've got to wrap it up here. I saw something. Hamilton said, one last question, what's your most recommended pizza? Not joking, this is not a lie. I want to make sure I get this in the episode. Brussels sprouts. If you find a place that sells pizza with roasted Brussels sprouts on it, that shit fucks. That shit's so good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Trust me.
And as a place, if you're ever in Lexington, Kentucky, I'm not totally sure because they recently got bought, but historically, Joe Bologna's is so good. I love Joe Bologna's pizza.
Bologna's.
Joe B's.
The only place I ever went that had Brussels sprouts on pizza closed down because they were also selling drugs.
That is so tough.
I was so sad. I was like, I felt like a disappointed parent. I was like, why did you do this? You had the best pizza. You were the only good pizza place.
Oh, 60 Watt said, I want meat lovers pizza, but also pineapple. I think that would be fantastic. That would be so good.
Yeah.
You're being a baby.
That'd be so good.
You're being a baby right now.
That'd be so good for you guys.
I will say, Mason's not being a pineapple on pizza girl right now. He doesn't like pineapple.
No, pineapple, it's not like it hurts me, but I do like it because it hurts me, but I don't like everything else about it. Does that make sense?
No.
The thing I like about pineapple is the part that hurts. I like that's novel to me. So I'm like, ooh, I like how...
You don't like the flavor, though?
I like how pointy it is, but yeah, I don't really like the flavor.
Crystallized pineapple is so freaking good, guys. Whoever invented that, that's crack cocaine.
Crystallized pineapple? I don't know if I've ever had that.
It's so good. It's candied. It's like candied pineapple. It's like it literally is just like dried and all of the sugars on it. You might like it. It's like I think, best candy.
Yeah.
And it's just pineapple.
I'll try it. I'll absolutely try it. It is 7:58. You've squandered another perfectly good hour listening to Bug and Moss Morning Telephone Show, if I may steal some verbiage from one of my favorite radio shows of all time, Car Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with us. It means the world that you spend your morning listening to us just goof around and
Yeah, a couple of goofs.
having y'all hanging out with us here and chat and shooting the shit and getting breakfast. And it's just been a great time. It's been a great week. I hope you have something planned for the weekend. That'll be a lot of fun. I hope you get some rest. Get yourself a little treat because you fucking deserve it.
You deserve it. Colin, I hope you're eating breakfast by now.
Yeah, dog. This goes out to you, Colin, saluting you and your McDonald's breakfast. And thank you all for being here with us. Thanks for having fun. Goodbye to Emily Coyote Astronaut. Goodbye, Hamilton. Goodbye, Sid the Kingmaker. Goodbye, N Squared, who said, I'm a Hawaiian truther to the very end, and I don't know what that means.
That means Hawaiian pizza, weirdo.
Oh. I thought he was going to be like, Hawaii's not real. It's actually the lab where they make all the birds.
Or if you're a truther about how Hawaii was totally colonized, yes, King, let's go.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's non-controversial.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, that's just absolutely the truth. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Have a great weekend. Send in your voicemails, text us things, send us emails, email submissions at bugandmoss.com, or email poo-poo-doo-doo-butt at bugandmoss.com.
Whatever you like.
Call 848-MOSS-BUG, leave us a voicemail. Y'all have a great weekend. And I love you, Bug.
I love you, Moss.
We'll catch y'all on Monday. Woo! Oh, and don't forget to watch Colin tonight.
Yeah.
That all new punk, WBRP. BRP. Music. Dancing. Singing songs.
Sing for me.
This is Bug and Moss.
Yahoo!
Jesus Christ, how long is this applause sound effect?
You
Okay,
could
I'm just-
see
I'm
how
just
long
cut-
it was.
Yeah, but
you could have pulled down a fader. He was watching how long it was and waiting for the perfect time to go, I can't believe how long this is.
I forgot to record again.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay.